mic's off, of course it is. It's always Twitch. Twitch is always a problem. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back. No, Twitch is still the problem. What do you mean Twitch is still the problem? I turned it on Twitch. Hello? Twitch is being slow. Now, Twitch is working. There we go. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Evolution League Racing. We have round number 8 of Season 3 tonight, the Dutch Grand Prix. And Mr. Business has gone P1 on those first runs. I believe I saw Sammy there getting a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with Rocky, which would make sense, considering he's missing a front wing. He's on his outlap. Is interesting how he's ended up getting damaged. Rocky was on a lap. They're both missing a front wing. Have they both got penalties? No. Only Rocky has got the Samuel there has got the penalty, which is interesting. They're both heading back into the pit lane. R34 just coming around the final corner, starting his first run of qualifying. And Samuel obviously coming back into the pit lane, as does Mr. Business, having finished his first run. Currently sitting P1, top of the timing sheets after that first lap. There's Claudio going around the lap with the special livery that Ferrari used in Monza, now available in the game from the survival mode, I think it's called. It's the old elimination mode from the past couple of games. But you've got a few objectives in that, in which you can claim this special livery. 18 drivers today is very nice. Mr. Quota heading back into the pit lane. He's done his first run, currently sitting in P3. He took the championship lead after round number 6 at Spain. Fell back down to second place after Toya's victory in Suzuka last time out. Coming around the last corner there is R34, who's just finishing his first run of qualifying. He's not going to steer clear of that little white line, which is a bump that cost you about half a tenth on the run. And maybe, if he had stayed to the left of that bump, he'd be in P3 right now. As it is, R34 goes into P4, just behind Mr. Quota, and in a Racing Balls sandwich. Tech Sport joins, taking us up to 19 drivers for today. As that is just Chazza, who's starting his second run, hoping he's going to finish it this time. Last time, obviously, did not get the lap to completion. What's Tyre up to? Surely you'd want to have accelerated by now if you're starting a lap. Unless he's just heading back into the pit lane. Which he is. Toya's just, I don't know, it's confused me a little bit there. But with very few drivers on track, it doesn't matter too greatly. Here's Ian, around the last corner. It looked like he aimed for the bump going into turn 1. And takes us through the first corner. It's in hard up mode, which isn't optimal on this game. It costs you more in battery depletion than is, and then it gains you on the straight. But then takes us through the first sector of turn 3 into 4, 5, and 6. Up is a small crest into turn 7, down the hill, flat out, through turn number 7 into 8th, the next corner. Again, still foot to the floor. Freak heads down into turn number 9. Someone improved there. I believe that was Chazza going up into P7 and takes us now round into turn number 10. Where getting the exit, getting the run is also important because it sets you up all the way down into 11 and 12. And you can still carry the speed through this chicane if you get it right. You want as much of that inside as you can, and slightly understeers, possibly a little tap of the grass there on the outside as he entered into the corner. But he's got it through fairly neat and tidy. Round the penultimate corner of 13, the last real challenge off the lap. The last corner of 14, banked, flat out. As long as you don't take too much of that inside curb, you'll be A-OK. And across the line goes into P3. Really, we want to be seeing times in the 7s here. But I think, unless I'm just completely forgetting how quali is at this track. There's Bert with Sauber's Spain livery, which I don't know how it looks from the off-board, because honestly I can't remember. Spain was too long ago. Wait, let me... I feel like they want to be in the 7s. I'm trying to remember times for this track. Maybe I'm just making that up. Maybe that... No. I think I'm just making it up. They want... Yeah, I think I'm just making it up. Like, completely. The 7s would be a very, very fast time. I think I am completely making that up. Yeah, mid to low 8s is very respectable for the circuit. I don't know where I got the thing about the 7s from. I don't know, completely made that up. But yeah. Mid to low 8s is a very respectable time at a circuit like Zandvoort. Higgum gets across the line, goes with a 109.5, also a perfectly respectable time. Puts him up into P7, but won't be a challenger for pole, realistically. Few cars heading across the line. I believe he has... That's Burt across the line, goes into P9, followed by a couple of others. It's hard to follow when there's this many cars. That's Mystic, who's just started another run. There goes Toya, championship leader, just starting another run as well. Then it's the Aston Martin Clifty Clive heading back into the pit lane. The Racing Bulls of Infinity Candy Floss coming back into the pit lane. Then it's Sammy around the last corner. Isn't realistically going to be doing anything with that lap. It's a 1:12.5. Not sure if he knows that he's not deploying battery. It still seems to be going. I'm not sure what the plan is there. R34 is just starting another run. Then the Alpine of EJ coming back into the pit lane. And coming around the last couple of corners. Mr. Business has come to a complete stop in the middle sector, so that's always nice to see. Oh, but... pirouetting his way into the gravel there. A few cars heading towards the line now. Magic's going to be the first of them. Cross the line, goes up into P7. Then it's the Ferrari of Claudio, who I believe just started a run. Then Spitfire Boy just came across the line. Tech Sport's gone off through the first sector. He's out and won't be setting a time in qualifying. Jumping up, there was Mystic into P9. Then Toya across the line, does go fastest with a 108.4. Mr. Business going to be the next, but he's not, because he's messed up his run and is back in the pit lane. Toya now holds provisional pole by 0.3. A very solid swing over where the positions were before. Mr. Quota is going to be heading back into the pit lane. He's not got the fuel to go again. So drivers seemingly struggling to get the laps in as R34 across the line and goes into P3 with a 108.899 to slot in just ahead of Mr. Quota and Infinity just behind him. And then as well, it's all very close in that sort of between 2nd and 6th, all within a couple of tenths. And if you look at the interval, that is not the interval. Oh, there is no interval for quali. There's Rocky taking us through Sector 1. He needs this lap, of course, having not put anything on the board as of yet. There's a yellow flag, so we can't see how long's left. 6 minutes is more than enough for Rocky. He probably won't be able to go and do 2 runs from here. There will be rain in the race, which will make things very intriguing later on. Infinity's just coming across the line to begin what will be his penultimate, maybe final run of the session. I'm not sure how much time he'll have left by the end. Then R34 there will just be heading into the pit lane. The Sauber of Sammy will be doing the same. So we continue following on with Rocky, who's heading into turn number 13 now. So the last corner, where you actually really need to think about what you're doing. And then the final corner of 14 is just flat to the floor. It's a little bit faster to stay tight on the inside here, but it's not too big of a deal. Rocky goes up into 3rd with a 108.8. It's a very strong time and really chucks him up into contention. His first run of the session sticks him in P3. Very strong time, absolutely nothing to be complaining about there, as EJ's just started another run. Ains messed that one up in the final sector and backed off. Let's see, Infinity is currently down, and I'd imagine is heading back into the pit lane, unless he's actually charging going again. With 4 minutes 50 in the session, you'd think he'd probably... No, he is coming into the pits. Okay. He's just using ERS and DRS to do so. Sure, who am I to question what's going on? Yeah, so Rocky will be working his way back to the pit lane with 4 minutes 35 to go. He'll have more than enough time. Ew, EJ. Track doesn't go that way, mate. Track does not go that way. Imagine he'll be in as well. To stick it on some new tyres at the end of the session, see what he can do. Because on those tyres, I think the answer is not very much. I don't realistically see him improving in this session. Or at least not on these current tyres. Yeah, he's going to head back into the pit lane and go for a final run. As will pretty much everyone. A few drivers heading out for that now. Most of them are still waiting. Mystic and Revs Racing coming out onto the circuit, as has Sammy there. Clifty Clive as well coming through Sector 1. Someone might... But Revs Racing takes us through the first sector, taking us into turn number 3 at the moment, back on the power, using that overtake button up the hill. Not sure how much he's going to burn early on in the lap. I think he's going a bit more than is ideal in Sector 1, but he did end up on his personal best. Will need quite a decent bit to get himself in the fight, but it's close, as it always is at Zandvoort. A very short circuit, not much, or not many places, to make up time, so the little improvements are the ones that make the big difference. At this circuit, Revs Racing through turn 10, with the DRS heading down into turn number 11, 10.5 up, taking us into the chicane. The Spitfire Boys crashed. Going through turn 2, he's not going to be setting any improvements at this stage. He's going to stay down in that 15th place, which he is at the moment. Revs Racing takes us through the final corner. Across the line he goes. That's 3/10 found to jump him up into P8. Will he be able to stay there? I'm not too sure. Clifty Clive seems to have gone off up the hill at turn 7. He's going to rejoin. Oh, Spitfire Boy disconnected and therefore retired. That's really unfortunate, yeah. So Mystic's just posted a lap time good enough for P9. Or P9 currently. Still definitely time for other drivers to make improvements in this session as Sammy comes across the line and jumps up into P16. But we'll be going... Oh no, he's off the racing line. I don't know what happened to Spitfire Boy. Did he get crashed into? I'm not sure. But he's not going to be setting another lap time in this session. Toya takes us round the final corner. He's going to be starting what will be his final run of the session with 1:15 to go. But he's got a buffer in case he makes a mistake. He can afford to back off, so long as the mistake doesn't cost him too much time. Toya, through the first sector, getting rotated, is almost out of control as he heads into turn number 3. As he blasts down the run, up the hill, over the crest, into turn 7. We see his first sector, he's a tiny bit down on his personal best. He's going a bit more than that if he wants to improve his provisional pole time. A bit too much of that inside curb through turn number 8, but he's not unsettled the car too badly, heading us into turn 10 at the moment. Again, on the power, as soon as he can, with the DRS as well, heading down into the chicane of 11 and 12. A tiny bit up now is Toya. He's found that little bit more time in his lap. But is it going to be enough to put him safely onto pole position so that he can stay there once the other laps come in? A little bit out of shape through turn number 13, going to slightly compromise the run. All the way to the line for Toya, who does improve by a bit under a tenth, is a 1:08 0.4. Still the time to beat. Mr. Business is down through Sector 1. He's not looking like he's going to be able to challenge that time. And Alpine comes across the line. That's EJ. Not able to challenge. R34 across the line with a 10th improvement to go up into P3. And going to be next. He's improving by 3/10 to go into P4. Next up is going to be Claudio coming around the final couple of corners. He's down as well. I'm not sure if he's going to be finding any time. What's Mr. Business doing? He's still down on his time. It needs to be all or nothing through this final corner. He goes wide. And as was the predictable outcome, he overpushed to try and find the time that was necessary. Couldn't do so. And across the line, he gives Mr. Quota a nice toe at the end there, who jumps up into P2. And the last car across the line is going to be Rocky. But he is down. And invalidated his lap as well. And he will stay in P6. But it's all very close. At the front of the field. Toy takes pole. And the additional point with it. Mr. Quota is going to be in P2. Lining up on the front row. With Mr. Business. Third place. Narrowly ahead of R34. Who couldn't quite get enough time at that final lap. And just about did enough to beat Rocky in the end. Who's in P6. Infinity P7. Honestly, the top 7 could all be in contention for a podium. Maybe better. Depends who really shines in the gloom once it starts to rain. Magic P8. Riz Racing P9. Mystic P10. Rounding off the top 10, obviously. And the points-paying positions if it were the race. Gellert. Claudio Burt. Chazza Spitfire Boy. Clive. Sammy. EJ. And Tech Support. Round off the field. It's a bit damp, isn't it? So this looks like... Right. This looks like it's full wet conditions right now. But knowing the game, you don't use the full wets. As soon as there's the slightest dry line, the inters become faster. So I think all the guys up the front will start on inters. This R6 esports and football literally just like it just no attention span. Yeah, everyone is indeed on the intermediate tires. I don't know what the strategy would have suggested, but it's pretty wet out there. Those inters are going to have no grip at the start, I can tell you that. If the later you are, the more of a dry line will be formed by the time you get to the corner. But wow, there is absolutely no dry line in the slightest. Because there's no reconnaissance laps or anything in the game. That's not simulated. There's no Porsche Super Cup. There's no F2. The game doesn't simulate the effects those things will have on the weather. What is going on there? What is Infinity? What are you doing? What is... I'm just not going to question that. So, This race will be interesting. I have no idea if it's going to dry up. I have... it might dry up. It might not. It might be into the entire race. In which case there will be at least one pit stop on those inters. If it does stay wet the entire race, the strategy will possibly be inter, or maybe inter. You know, if it doesn't dry up. If it does, who knows? Depends how long we go. Pit stop window here is about 12 laps. So anything after that, it will be one stop to the end. But who knows? It's very wet. Oh, Chaz is just disconnected. It shows him offline. Brilliant. I should have to... Oh, wait, no, I'm not friends with him on Steam, that's why. Right. Toys misses grid spot. So he's going to be ever so slightly further back, which provides just the smallest of advantages to Mr. Quota alongside him. But here we go. The Dutch Grand Prix, a very wet Dutch Grand Prix, is about to get underway. 5 red lights ahead of the drivers. And it's lights out. And away we go. And Mr. Quota does get a good start. On the inside of Tori, he's going to look to challenge before they get to the first corner. This goes side by side into turn 1. Mr. Quota leads on that inside line. Pushes Boyer slightly wider than ideal. It's 3 wide behind. And Mr. Business and R34 getting all tangled up. Mr. Business losing a lot of time through turn 2 and into 3. There's a Ferrari off there. That's Rocky. Mr. Business taking the high line. Does seem to regain that position, but it's still side by side. They do maintain that place, but it's chaos behind still. There are cars absolutely everywhere in these conditions. Because you can really take a lot more racing lines in conditions like this. Tech Sport trying to navigate the field of cars in front of him. That's Mystic going off at turn number 7. But does rejoin the race, no problem. Someone off there, I think that's Clifty Clive in the Aston Martin, having a slide on the exit of 7, possibly hitting the barriers, but he's continued on. Tech Sport up to 11th already from the back of the field. He's just side by side with Gellert's into turn 11. Gellert sliding, pushing Tech Sport wide off the track on the run onto the straight. And that's going to cost him all those positions that he made up on lap 1. Mr. Coiter leads, Tor in second place, Ayan in third, following the first lap. And Chaz disconnecting, still being P8. It's not gone too badly in the end. He got the strategy, he got any setup changes he wanted to make, and he stayed clear of the chaos. So there's no DRS in these conditions, is the main thing that will impact the way we go racing. Tech Sport there looking to go for the move on Mystic on the inside. Gets that done. There's a bit of damage ahead for EJ, missing his front left end plate. Tech Sport looking to set up the move on the Alpine as we go on board. He's going to go for the switch back into turn 3 most likely, but EJ defends the car well. Just parks it on the apex, in the middle of the track. Leaves no space for Tech Sport to go through, but he's going to try and squeeze his way on the inside into turn 5. Into 6, sorry, that was. And he gets that move done through 7. EJ drifting slightly wide from going off the racing line. It's a big slide for Tech Sport on the exit, but he's got that move done, and comfortably so. And now looks to get back past Gellert, which is exactly where he was 1 lap ago. But looking to challenge Magic in front of him as well is going to get the run. Is he going to have what's necessary to go for a move into turn 11? It would be a bold one to send it here. He's not going to do so. Quite wisely, I'd say. I don't know if it is going to try up in this race. EJ missed it, going side by side. Down into turn 13, the penultimate corner. That invites Claudio to get involved. Spitfire Boy there as well. Fast lap of the race from Mr. Quota, as he extends that advantage out front. Someone's gone off. I believe that it's Chazza, who's had a trip into the gravel through turn 13. So the gaps begin to open up, as they do in the wet. Toy still able to cling with Mr. Quota, and there is no DRS, so this is their pace. Toy in Dirty Air is able to keep with Mr. Quota, but he's not fast enough to get past. It'll be who gains confidence faster as these conditions change, as the track dries up. Because there's still no dry line through this section. There's a bit of a one through some of the corners. You can start to see the formations of a dry line, but you can see how much they put down every time they come over this section. It's still raining. The track's not going to be drying up for a while. And whichever of these two come out ahead is going to be whichever one gets the right call onto the slicks, most likely. As Mystic trying to find a little space for his car in between Spitfire Boy and Claudio. And he does manage to do so. He stays in P15. But he'll want to be higher up. And there will be lots of opportunities for drivers to benefit from those getting... Mainly benefiting from those getting it wrong. But getting it especially right, or getting the condition change especially right, will be a big opportunity for drivers to jump up the field. I believe Gellert went off through the final couple of corners to allow Techsport back past into P11. From the back of the grid, then falling down further, he's had a pretty good race so far, has Techsport, working his way up into P11. Sammy gets past Spitfire Boys, they go side by side. They've ghosted, in fact, through turn 1. As Spitfire Boy keeps that place. Gap out front, staying within a second. It'll be really interesting once it dries up. Mr. Business right on the back of R34 in front of him. Definitely seems to be the faster driver in these conditions. But is there a way past for the Mercedes? No DRS. Similar enough battery level. That's Infinity as well, sliding off in front of them. It's really, Mr. Business need to get this move done on R34. The two drivers in front of him both seem to be struggling quite a lot at this stage. We're on board with the Mercedes driver. He's going to want to set up the exit and burn the battery into turn 1. R34 has been compromised by Infinity in front of him, who's really slow, really seems to be struggling at the moment, as he's almost going round at the final corner. And if Mr. Business doesn't get a move on, he's got Rocky right behind him. There's the four of them all right there with each other, but not looking like they can do anything without the DRS. Techsport moves past Bert into turn 1. Bert kicks the rear out on the exit of turn 1. He keeps it in a straight line, quite impressively so. Infinity goes really wide, and now that he forced him to have the chance, does he? Not quite to go past, but he is there. He's all over the back of the Racing Bulls. He really wants that place, or possibly it's more that Infinity seemingly doesn't want that place. He's sliding all over the track. As going off his chassis, Sammy has come in for the wet tyre. Which, although it's raining, Infinity's gone off and hit the wall! Infinity's out of the race! And that's only a virtual safety car. There's a car in the wall. Just there. And we only get a virtual. Because that makes sense. We love EA. Is anyone going to pit? I don't see it. I don't see the stop. It's only lap 5. You know, a 7th of the way through the race. There's no way it's worth it to pit from more into. I take it back. Oh, no. No. Mr. Quad has not pitted. Toya has. Ayn has not. Yeah, Mr. Quadra did not cross the pit lane line because it never divided from the track. Oh no, it's a full safety car. What? When did that... Did it get upgraded? That safety car was not there earlier. Am I making this up? Was that safety car there all the time? I don't think it was. So Toya is the leader of those who have pitted. He's P8. Everyone else has fallen further. And it's worked out well for... Oh, Jazz retired in the pit lane. This has worked out well for Techsport, who has been able to pit, and he's pretty much there with the guys that were the leaders because of the way the strategy's panned out. He's now P14. He has lost places from this stop, but he is very close to the leading group, or the chasing pack they were, really. So Mr. Quota leads as he did before. But Toya's gone down to P8, but has 5 laps fresher tyres. I'm not sure how much those 5 laps are going to make a difference, unless the rain comes quite late. It depends how... If it might not dry up at all, to be fair. I don't know. The full safety car makes it make a lot more sense to pit. If it remained only a virtual, pitting would be a much worse idea. But the full safety car makes a lot of sense to come into the box. Because effectively you've lost nothing. Toya is about 2-3 seconds behind Mr. Quota. And that's just because of there being a massive gap here. This will be interesting on the restart. I might just, like, see if I can get a weather report from one of the drivers. Let's see if they respond. I'm not sure if they will, but I don't think they're going to respond. We're going to get one more lap on the safety car. Which is interesting. Into the pit lane comes Claudio. So he's going to fall to last. And he's going to be behind car on wets. So Claudio's last by quite a long way. But he's got the newest tyres out of everyone. Obviously they're not pushing these tyres at the moment. Safety car's in this lap. So, this will be interesting. We got a safety car restart, led by Mr. Quota. Rocky's got a 10-second time bounty for ignoring the yellow flag. What's Rocky done? I don't know. We've not gone yet. Mr. Quota chooses when to accelerate, and he's not gone. Off he goes! Mr. Quota leads them away on the safety car restart, and Anne's gone with him. He's got Mr. Business right up behind him as well. Mr. Business sends it to the inside. On the inside of Anne, can he get the move done? It's going to be close as they go wheel to wheel for turn one. Mr. Business gets the move done. Moves up into second place. Gallets gets the run on Rivs, racing to move up into P4, but gets a 10-second for ignoring yellow flags. Does everyone in the... I don't know where all these illegal overtake penalties have come from. But half the field has one. Half the field has got an illegal overtake penalty. We can't say they'll be removed, because they're probably going to be another pit stop as Samuel goes into the wall. At high speed on the run up the hill. Those wet tyres don't seem to be the play in these conditions. As he's gone off, got wing damage, and is going to have to come into the pit lane. Gellert's losing a couple of positions there. Down through turn 8, that is. Yeah, they've all got to serve him. Every single one of them. I don't know what they even got it from. You can see the dry line forming now. It is going to dry up at some stage. Toya in P5 has a penalty. R34 has a penalty. Textbook has a drive-through. It doesn't seem like pitting was the right call, considering what's happened since. I don't know what happened. I didn't see it. They just all got illegal overtakes. It's not like Spain, where it's obviously someone spun. You know, in Spain, you could see on the spin. Here, I genuinely have no idea what happened. His tech support's got involved. He's coming into the pit lane. Yeah, he added the drive-through, didn't he? Rocky needs an invite. Yeah, Tex will have the drive-through, so he's had to come in and serve that. Puts him back down to last, but with the way this race has been going, wouldn't be surprised if that is not the final safety car. It probably did happen, but I didn't see anything. It was probably someone spinning or going off or whatever. Or just the game randomly being terrible. Because Textbook getting a drive-through means he must have overtaken 2 people. Because you get a 10-second for 1, and so overtaking 2 would be a drive-through. Yeah, I don't know what happened on that safety car restart. Something happened, and now we got 6 10-second time penalties. The Mr. Quota is just extending that gap out front. Toy stuck behind his teammate Riz Racing. First lap of the race goes the way of Mr. Quota. Toy does need to get a move on, especially considering that 10-second. Gellert's on the inside of Burt. Moves back up into 6th place as he slides on the exit, which always invites R34 up the inside of them both. He's not going to be able to do anything. The Williams just has to sit and wait. He's going to think about the lunge into turn 3. It's a bit of contact, which almost allows him to go past Burt in the end. Doesn't do so. And they remain as they were. There's another 10-second time penalty for Sammy for speeding the pit lane. Getting off those full wets that were never the right call. Yeah. He goes back onto the inters, but has a 10-second now as well. Mr. Business on this lap has stayed a little bit closer to Mr. Quota. I think he has higher wings. He seems to be fast in the middle sector. And he's closer than he was on the previous lap. Is Mr. Business. But I just don't see the move being made in these conditions. Toya this time is very close to his teammate. He's going to set up the move with the run out of this final corner being the most important. It's a bit of a slide for Riz Racing, and that should allow Toya with the DRS to move himself. Oh, not with the DRS, sorry. Just with as much battery as he can expend. He's going to send the lunge on his teammate into turn 1, and he makes it work. Riz Racing not fighting that one too hard. Not going to hold his teammate up more than he has to. Now Toya up into P4. Takes what's pushing at the back of the field, trying to catch back up to where he was. That a bit of wing that he just lost. Going into the back of Rocky as he approached turn 1 so much quicker than those in front of him. He's got a little bit of damage now on the left-hand side. Rocky's trying to navigate his way past EJ, and Techsport trying to just catch up to them. He wasn't trying to go for a move, he just came in so much faster. And made contact as off goes Rocky as well. He's trying to find a way past EJ on the inside into turn 7 now. Does get that move done. Techsport almost gets involved. Almost gets taken out. EJ just so much slower through that corner and tightening. You expect Export to move past shortly, maybe sending the move into turn 10. He's going to wait, set up the exit, and go for it into 11. most likely. As here comes the Mercedes. Is he still close enough? He might be that little bit too far back. Still trying to set up a move. There's a bit of contact again as he tries to find his way through. He's completely stuck behind the Alpine in front of him. And can he get the run that's required onto the pit straight? I think he's got it on this time around. There he goes. Moves past into 15th place. Took him a while though. And while that was all going on, Mr. Business has caught right back up to Mr. Quota, sitting a 10th behind. As Infinity just leaves the session there. It's all incredibly close at the front. Is the move on for Mr. Business? Because he does obviously lose out from the dirty air. Can he get close enough? Can he go for the move? He understeered slightly wide as 11. That's going to cost him a decent bit of time. 3/10 or so lost in that. Because, the understeer at 11 cost you through the entire chicane. And then the exit out of it. Toy's not been able to pull that much away from his teammate. Gap currently sitting at 3 seconds. It's obviously not bad at all. I say that as he sets the fastest lap of the race. Toy doing everything he can to prove me wrong once again. Yeah. It's just... sorry, that's Magic there. Just moving past Clivety Clive. Up into P11. How long till it dries up? Because it won't be long until we get into the territory of mediums to the end. If we go too much longer. I say that, it's still very much hard to the end until we get to about lap 20-something. But there's no signs of drying up anytime soon. And Mr. Quota sliding his way through this middle sector. Are those rear tyres starting to go off a bit? Obviously, Toy's already pitted. But he's got that 10-second, which is going to really harm his race long term. Mr. Business missed the apex again through 11. And you can see how much time that costs him. It's a really interesting race, even though nothing's happening. It's just fascinating how it's going to go. It's Toya. Toya's got into this train. He moves past Ayan into turn 1. Didn't notice when he's pulled another 2.5 seconds during racing on that last lap. So Toya's flying with those new inters. But obviously that 10-second time penalty is really going to hurt later on. Unless he can gap those 10 seconds first. R34 moves past Claudio and Bert, who's gone off twice there by the looks of things. That's through the first couple of corners, turn 1, 2, 3. He's got a bit of damage, possibly from sliding off into the barriers. And that's not going to help him at all. As it's just drying up now, because it's still very much raining. It is getting drier, and the lap times are coming down. Even for these guys on old tyres, they're still setting pretty decent lap times. How long until it goes to slicks? I'm not sure. But what I do know, it is not going to be all that much longer. At this stage, it does look like it's getting dry. There very much is a dry line formed. But it's still raining. It's still raining decently heavily. We must say, it's got to dry up at some point. Zar34 finally gets his way past Gellertz into turn 1. But he's got that 10-second time penalty as well. As Bert gets to 10. Another 10-second penalty. This one for speeding in the pit lane. I mean, maybe that one could be removed if... Because he's got the 10 for speeding. And he's got a 10 that can be removed. If you just say the one he's serving now is the speeding, that maybe his other 10 will be removed. But he's going to be making another pit stop before the end, what am I saying? There's no way he's going to the end on these inters. Unless it just doesn't dry up. It might just not dry up. And if they're going to pit for new inters, they got to do it pretty soon. I don't know what their engineers are telling them. You can't ask... There is no weather data for a spectator in the lobby because the F1 game was not designed for league racing. It wasn't. The spectator features are so minimal. Yeah. Is that someone being lapped that I just saw? Yes, it is. That's EJ. Who's just going lap down. EJ's on slicks. I dare say that's not the right tyre to be on at this stage. I think there's a chance he might be on the wrong tyre. It's only a 5-lap difference for Toya compared to those two in front of him. If they're gonna pit, they need to pit soon. If they don't pit now, they're not pitting. Like, if they go half the race without pitting, they are committing fully to making it to whenever it dries up. Oh, someone's gone off there. Yeah, that's EJ. Okay. Oh, there's a virtual safety car for that. For EJ going into the wall on those slick tyres. It's only a virtual. It's not going to massively transform the race, but this is the opportunity to pit. This is the pit window if you are going for a pit stop. If you don't pit now, you're not pitting at all. What does Mr. Quota do? His gap behind, it's about 15 seconds to Gellert, so that's probably about where he'd come out. Mr. Business comes in. Mr. Quota does not. N comes in as well. Those two aren't sure it's taking out the right call. And they've come in for more inters, obviously. It's a really interesting call. Everyone with 10 seconds, pretty much, is pitting. Not everyone, but most of the people with the 10 seconds are pitting. So Mr. Business is going to be flying on this restart, assuming he doesn't get a random drive-through, which is very possible with VSCs. As we go green now, in fact. And still in the pit lane. Most of these guys are still in the pit lane when we go green, so they're not going to gain nearly as much as they would have done otherwise. EJ's gone off again at the last corner. EJ, just retire. Come on. And how much is Mrs. Business going to be gaining on these guys in front of them? The gap's 12 seconds now. Once he gets those tyres up to temperature, we'll see how quickly he might start gaining. He is definitely gaining at this stage. Is it EJ staying out again? Oh, EJ. He's missed that apex again. If he really... Okay, he's just straight on the wall, hasn't he? Bit of an odd place to be, mate. Yeah, he's just doing donuts, okay. If that brings out a safety car. But Mr. Business is definitely gaining on the cars in front of him. He's gained about 7/10. More like a second since he's pitted. He's absolutely flying, but is it going to be worth it long term? Is this going to make back the time that he lost from the pit stop? It's a big slide on the exit of turn 3. So you can tell he's pushing. He's pushing hard. And he is making mistakes. This will be really interesting whether the gap will actually come down enough. Because it's coming down very fast. How long until it dries up? Was the pit stop worth it? What would be really interesting is if it doesn't dry up at all. And then Mr. Business just is on the much better strategy. Whether Mr. Quota has enough of a pace advantage to mitigate that. And I don't think he does, in all honesty. I think EJ's about to be lapped by the entire field. So on the last lap, Mr. Business has gained about 6 tenths per second. And that's despite the big slide that we saw at turn 1. Oh, turn 3, sorry. And he's gone 8 tenths faster than him, though, on the previous lap. We saw the one mistake from Mr. Business, but that's not 8 tenths on its own. Aiden's flying. Mr. Business is flying. Are they flying enough to catch up to the race leader? That is the question that we're interested in. We'll see Mr. Business's Sector 1 here compared to his previous lap. He's only 2 tenths up. So, yeah. It was only about 2 tenths that he lost on the previous lap from that slide. Ayan does seem to be the faster driver. Right now. Right here, right now, Ayan seems to be faster. It's really, really intriguing. Because these guys are gaining fast. But they've also got a lot to gain. 19 laps on those inters. They will be struggling. Toya's pre-planned pit window, oh not Toya, Mr. Quota's pre-planned pit window is now open. And there is no sign of the rain stopping. The gaps will come down again. What's the lap times this time? It's 21.2 from Mr. Business. Again, 8 tenths a lap faster from in behind. Now, 8 tenths is the sort of pace differential where you can actually make a pass without DRS. Oh, so front 2 has swapped positions. Toya now leads as he's managed to find a way past Mr. Quota. And Toya leads from Mr. Quota second place, but he's got that 10-second time penalty, which is going to push him a lot further down. Mr. Quota will be struggling with those tyres later on, if he's not already. He's going to be properly struggling with those 20-lap-old tyres. What's he doing? EJ's still just... Okay. But look how quickly that gap is coming down. 6.6 seconds to the race lead. And not being able to take too much out of Mr. Business on this time around. He might have even lost some time. Because he got closer, he got into the dirty air. Maybe En's burnt out too much of his tyre already. I don't know. This is going to be so intriguing to the end. Because Mr. Business is still gaining so rapidly on those in front of them. Toya and Mr. Quota separated by 3 tenths. Mr. Quota and Mr. Business separated by 5 seconds. Oh, EJ's just... Oh, he's crashing as a safety car! Right, how have you ended up there? So there's a safety car on lap 22. And it's an opportunity for Toya to pit and serve that penalty. Clive sped on the safety car and got a drive through. Magic sped in the pit lane and got a 10-second. And it's still raining. It's very much still raining. Clive has sped again. Clive has sped again. And he's retired. Okay. Surely these guys pit. Surely. With how quickly the fresh tyres were gaining on them, surely they pit. They should have pitted the previous one, but they'll now have the tyre advantage. A very small one, mind you. But they will have a tyre advantage. Yeah, of course. They both come into the pit lane. Will Mr... Sure, these guys stay out, right? I see the shout for these guys pitting. I see it. No, they do stay out. Ooh. Ayan's pitting. Ayan doesn't want P2. He's prioritising the fresher tyres over 2 positions. Which is also very, very interesting. Ridge Racing moves up into P5. All the 10 seconds have now been served, which levels the playing field a lot more, which is nice. Obviously, Ty's fallen behind Mr. Quota by nature of that 10 second. So Mr. Business leads. Yeah. If Mr. Business had pitted, he would be P2. Because he was only 6 seconds behind. And then it was an 8-second loss. But yeah, that's very true. Like, there's still 10 laps to go. There is still time for it to dry up. But I'm not sure if it will. Because there's still another 10 laps to go. And it's not dried up again. It's not dried up again. It's not dried up yet. Safety car will be in this lap. Let's see. Safety car's in this lap. As expected. There's a bit of contact behind that I just heard from Mr. Business. But he's going to lead us on the restart. Why is there a Sauber there? And he's got a lapped car ahead of him. And he's got to get past a lap car as well, so he loses that little bit more time. He can't challenge Toy in front of him. And Mr. Business accelerates, and Mr. Quota has gone right with him with those pressure tyres. I don't think he's going to be close enough for the centre turn one, but he might think about it. As he looks on the inside, there's contact between the two of them. Mr. Business half spins, but keeps the race lead, and there's not going to come to anything in the end. But Mr. Business does seem to have been caught a little bit off guard by how crazy Mr. Quota is at this stage, who's sent into turn 3, gets slide on the exit, and does, again, just lose out. But he's not in the mood to be sitting around behind the Mercedes in front of him. He's got those fresher tyres, and he's got a very fast Toy behind him. So he wants Mr. Business to get a move on. Still no signs of the rain stopping. We might not get dry running in this race, despite what it looks like. Toy's going to be thinking about that move on Mr. Quota whenever he can set it up. He's going to tuck in the slipstream. Again, there's just no way past at this stage. It's a big send there for Rivs Racing, who almost thought about going for it on Ayan on 5-lap older tyres. Would have been a very well executed move if he was able to pull it off. But Mr. Quota has really stuck with Mr. Business around the lap. And there he goes! On the inside, before they get to the line, Mr. Quota is ahead, moves past, into the race lead. And under braking, gets that one done unless he goes a little bit too deep. Mr. Business has a little opportunity to switch to the inside. Can't do anything with that. Mr. Quota takes the race lead. And now, how long until Toya can try to get his way past? Because he has to do it pretty soon if he doesn't want to get stuck and allow Mr. Quota to run away. Because he's got a championship lead to protect. Let's have a look at the standings real quick. Where's standings? Their standings. 12 points between them. Oh, he got a VSC. A full safety car, in fact. Who's gone off? Who has gone off? Why do we have why safety car? That might be why safety car. Car that's missing both of its end plates. Oh, that might be why safety car. Car with no wing. So you got a third safety car of this. Oh, another car missing both its end plates. What happened? Oh, well, all those guys at the back will pit. Sammy's a lap down. I assume no pit stops coming from any of these guys at the front. They've just got way too much to lose. But will Burt consider a stop? Nah. Spitfire Boy's got 3 seconds for pitting, which will be removed as long as he provides race director. That's a known bug for the game. Has been for years. Gellert is going to have to wait for his teammate, so he's going to fall right to the back of the field. Magic moves up into P12 because of all of that going on. And we've got another safety car restart. This time with only 8 laps to go. It's still raining. It's not going to dry up. Gellert has gone onto the wet tyres. Now, the only excusable reason for that is that he's run out of inters. This is going to be very interesting. Now, it's not dried up yet. It's not going to dry up. Should be in this lap, and it will leave us with another 7 laps. Yes. Yeah, we've got 7 laps to go. Those tyres on Mr. Business's Mercedes will be 18 laps old. Not even 19 laps old by the time we get to the end of the race. Now, admittedly, about 6 of those laps were under safety car conditions, but that's not ideal. When does Mr. Quota bolt for the safety car restart? He went with Mr. Business on the last one as he accelerates away. He seems to have caught Mr. Business a little bit napping. There's contact behind. That's Claudio getting involved with another driver. I'm not sure exactly who. Toya lunges it up the inside of Mr. Business. Gets that one done through turn 1. But he slides on the exit. Can he make it work? Yes, he can. Toya moves up into second place. And now he's going to go chasing after the race leader and his championship rival in P1. But he's got a little bit of front wing damage that he might have picked up from a little bit of contact with Mr. Business in turn 1. Can he still just have enough pace to stay or even challenge Mr. Quota with that damage that he has now? Is a missing end plate. It's not going to be the worst bit of damage in the world, but it's going to definitely make a difference over the next few laps, and especially because it's in the wet. The wet conditions just the wet conditions that use that front downforce so much more than the dry. It's definitely going to be a struggle for Toya, but he's able to stay somewhat close to Mr. Quota out front. But for the time being, there's not going to be very much that the Red Bull can do. He's gaining though. He's gaining. He's going to be close enough. Not yet in turn 1. But this fight is not over yet. Don't write Toya off, even with the damage. Supposedly we have a yellow flag, but I don't see it. Where yellow flag? There isn't one. Tech Sport moves his way past Claudio. And from the back of the grid, dropping to last on more than one occasion in this race. Tech Sport's back up into P7. It's been a very good recovery drive from him so far. Rocky's gone off and is now down at P14, missing off his front wing. And with only a few laps to go, I don't think Rocky's going to be scoring any points in the end. I don't think it's happening for Rocky in the points today, unfortunately, because he showed some great pace in qualifying and in the early stages of the race. Just hasn't gone his way with the chaos that's ensued since. Two McLarens very close to one another through the chicane. Gellert's on the wet tyre. Spitfire Boy should be faster, but he's just not able to find a way past his teammate. It's not that wet. It's definitely not full wet conditions, and you can see it from how much time he's just gained through turn 13. But is there a way through? Is there a way through for Spitfire Boy to get himself back into the points playing positions. Mr. Quota and Toya side by side. They make contact through two, and Mr. Quota goes off the track. Rejoins. There's more contact. Through goes Mr. Business in the race lead. With Aiden into second place. Rockets are tied from the pit lane. We're on the race in the pit lane. Toy's now third, Mr. Quota fourth. The two title rivals coming together in the late stages of this Dutch Grand Prix where they've been fighting all race. And Toy's up into down into P3. Mr. Quota down to P4 when he was in the lead for the most part of this one, really. Tech Sport now up into P6, taking advantage of the chaos in front. Can he find a way past Rips Racing as well? He's got R34 sending the move on the inside. A bit of contact, which half spins the Williams, who keeps it going. But now Mr. Business leads. With only a handful of laps to go, Aiden in second place is in with a real chance of contending for the race win. And how's this one going to end now? Because Toya and Mr. Quota have, after that further piece of contact, and now P3 and P4, the championship leader sitting on the bottom step of the podium, and the chaser behind him is a big send from Aiden into turn one. There's a lot of contact as he gets his way through into turn one. Past Mr. Business. Mr. Business lost the rear on the exit of the corner, which is really what allowed him through. But he'll argue he was put off by the contact into his rear. I don't know how that will be deemed in the stewards room, because I'm sure it will be sent to them. Is going off there. It's the other two McLarens going off. I think it is. I think they've got tangled with Mystic there. I think the two McLarens of Mystic have got into an incident which sent and get still in their points, but they've got Magic right behind them now. Mr. Business now chasing Ayan. Does he have the pace to do so? I'm not sure. And just pulling away out front. The gap's up to 7 tenths, 8 tenths of a second. And Ayan could be on course for race victory. I'm not even sure if he's had one before. It might be Ayan's first victory. I'm going to have to look this up now that I've mentioned the possibility. Let's have a look. I will try and keep at least one eye on the screen as Toya sends it up the inside of Mr. Business to move up into second place. He's still chasing Ayan in front of them. The race is not over yet. Don't write this one off. It's not over till the checkered flag. But so far looking through, I haven't found a race won by Ayan in either the first or the last two seasons. I don't think Ayan's won a race yet, which is crazy. Yeah, he hasn't. Ayan's still yet to take a victory today. Or take a victory in ELR. But Toya can't stay close enough. He can't stay close enough to Ayan at this stage. Is he going to have to get past Ayan? Or will the stewards room do that for him? That's going to be the question running in his mind, I imagine. He does seem to be fast on the straights. He is in the negative with fuel. So that's going to be something playing on his mind as well. He's not close enough for a turn one lunge. Mr. Quote has moved up into third place, getting past Mr. Business at some point around that lap when I was trying to look up whether Ends had a win here yet. Which the answer is he hasn't. And there's Tech Sport setting up the move on Rivs, racing to try and move up into P5 from the back of the grid and dropping down there again after that drive-through penalty, which I don't believe was his fault. Has been a very good drive from the Mercedes so far. Sitting in P6 with a very decent chance of taking P5, but is he going to be able to do so? There's only a handful of laps. We are on the penultimate lap. There's going to be one more full lap till the end of the race. And the only thing Toya has in hand is a lot of battery. He's in the negative on fuel. He's 9 tenths behind. but he's got pretty much his entire battery to dump into turn 1. He's faster on the straight. He's got a full battery. It's going to have to be all or nothing in sector 1. And then coasting through the middle and final sector for Toya if he wants to take victory today. As we go on to the final lap, Ayan is going to voluntarily slow his car slightly down as he goes over that pit lane white line bump. But he's held position. Does he have enough to hold off Toya? I think he will. So the gap now 0.3 of a second. It's going to be the run into turn 6. Where Toya has his final chance. He takes the low line. Does he get the better run? He slides on the exit, but he's still close. 0.3 of a second. Burning all of that remaining battery up until turn 7. Is he going to be close enough? He's not. And just about seems to be holding on out front. There's only a few corners remaining for Ayan to hold on. Unless this one goes to the steward's room at the end of the race. Ayan's done all he can on the road as he heads into the final couple of corners. There's not much standing between him and the top step of the podium now. I don't think Toya's going to have enough. He might even run out of fuel before we get to the line. Ayan navigates the final corner. And he's going to cross the line to win the Dutch Grand Prix. Toya takes that second place. Fastest lap for Mr. Quota at the end to come home in third. Mr. Business in fourth place. Rips Racing P5. Texas Sport a very well-deserved P6. R34 and P7. But takes 8th. Claudio 9th. And the final points paying position is going to fall the way of Mystic in the Williams. It's going to be Spitfire Boy P11. Magic is actually going to take that after penalties. Magic isn't even there. Magic disconnected a few laps ago, and he's going to take that after those penalties. Gellert will be the final car to cross the line. He's taking us through turn 13 into the last corner, 14 now. Rounding off the finishers in his McLaren. And that is it for the Dutch Grand Prix. It's victory for Ayan. Toya extends his championship lead. And Mr. Quota in third place. Super exciting at the end. And a very strong victory. For Ayan. Will it stand? I can't say. But that was the Dutch Grand Prix of Season 3. And not that long to go in the season, really. We're 8 races in, I believe, of 15. Wait, let me check. 8 races down. 4 to go. We'll see you in a week's time. In Abu Dhabi. Where this championship fight will continue. The gap at the front, as things stand, will become 15 points between Toya